You know, there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate, and I found one that I really love in particular, and guess what? It makes me millions of dollars. But I fully recognize that there are many other ways of making money in real estate, which is why I've got my friend Bob Allen, Robert G. Allen, the legend, here with me today to not talk about just one way of making money in real estate, but what?
There are at least 6 ways of making at least $100,000 a year in your real estate investments, or maybe a whole lot more than that. So today we're going to talk about those 6 strategies because you're going to use one of them to make yourself wealthy.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
This is what $100,000 looks like. By the way, is this a lot of money?
Yeah. No.
No, I mean, to most people it is. So I'm excited because today's video, we're going to talk about this. 6 ways to make 6-figure incomes through the game of real estate. Because I think the goal is, if we show them 6 different ways, if we show you 6 different ways that you can pull off 100 grand, maybe you like just one of those strategies and you're set and you're ready to go. But guess what? In time, you might look at that and say, that's kind of cute. That's adorable. Instead, let's grow this thing into like $1 million or something. 6-figure income, right? It's like such a buzzword. But let me ask you, Bob, why is it important in today's world for people to figure out how to at least get to $100,000 of income?
Well, $100,000 is really not that much money when you tell you the honest truth. I mean, you need multiple streams of income to generate that. But with real estate, you can generate that with just a few properties. And so that's the bottom line. A 6-figure income does not mean you simply bring in 6 figures, such as in the one-time sale of an asset. It means your yearly income has 6 digits, and it's repeatable, and it's sustainable. And very few people have income like that. It's multiple streams of residual income that is really the secret behind it. And you don't want just 100,000, you want to make $1 million, don't you?
Wait a second, is that real? Is that real?
Well, let's find out if it's real. Let's see. Nope, it's not real.
I got a lot of buddies, Bob, that make a lot of money in real estate, and one of those ways is wholesaling. Defined this way, real estate wholesaling is a short-term business strategy investors use to make big profits. Contrary to what you may think, real estate wholesaling has nothing to do with retail wholesaling. Real estate wholesaling doesn't involve the sale of multiple properties at lower prices at all. In this strategy, the wholesaler contracts a home, usually one that is distressed, with the seller, shops that home around to potential buyers, and then assigns the contract to one of them. What does that mean?
It means buying a bargain. A bargain. If you don't buy a bargain, then you're not a business person. Isn't that what you do as a business person?
Wait. So I got this house, and let's just say that I buy this lovely piece of real estate at a bargain. Let's say 25% below market.
Yes.
How does wholesaling play into this example?
Well, then I can turn around, and I tied it up, and I can turn around and I can sell it to somebody else.
Tied it up means you got it under contract. Like the person that owns this has agreed to sell it to you at a bargain.
That's right.
And then you take that
contract. It's
contract.
all legal.
Yeah.
Now you can sell that contract, many of you heard of that before, where you sell the paper. Before you even buy it, you sell it to somebody else who really, really wants it and make immediate profit, and you never have to use your cash, your credit, your cash flow, your collateral. You basically negotiated a piece of paper and you sold the paper for cash. That's one way of wholesaling. But another example is a partner of mine just 2 days ago was telling me he finds out-of-state owners for lots, for residential lots. And since the out-of-state owner doesn't know what the value of those lots are in that city, if the city is hot, they don't really know it, and therefore he makes an offer to buy it, a full retail, what they think is retail, but he knows it's wholesale. And therefore he buys it and he pays cash for it, and immediately turns around, he buys a lot for $50,000 and sells it for $100,000 and does it in a couple of weeks. And this is something you can do. That's called wholesaling.
Now listen, you could get the game of wholesaling dialed in and certainly make 6 figures that way. But guess what? There's a second strategy. It's called conversions. What's that, Bob?
It means creating value. Take a property that's worth 100% in terms of retail and converting its zoning from one use to another use. So for example, I bought an apartment building for like $200,000. I put in $100,000, got the change of zoning from the city, and sold it for $600,000. Now it took a little bit of work and a little bit of fix-up, but that conversion doubled my profit from just that one simple property.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually $100,000, it was $300,000. So I'm trying to say to you is, as you look at all real estate, you're asking yourself that question, could I convert this somehow? It might be close to a residential or to a commercial zoning. Maybe I could get it converted so that I could earn that immediate increased profit.
If you live in a city, and you probably do, there's also a city council. And you know what? They meet on a regular basis. The public can come in and you can find out where in the city they might be doing a rezoning. That might be like a residential area of single family where they're gonna turn it commercial. And Bob, that could actually mean big bucks for someone that gets their hands on that information, right?
Yeah, and nobody ever does that. They never go to those kind of meetings where there's huge profits in those meetings because you have advanced knowledge where the new zoning is going to happen. But sometimes you just got to go down to the city and make the zoning change yourself. And you make an application. Sometimes they deny it. Sometimes they approve it.
Huh, that's interesting. So literally you just got to go down, talk to the city officials, go through the application process. And if you can get a change made, that could add value and massively increase.
Immediately.
That's incredible. You know, Bob, number 3, let's talk about fixer-uppers, because literally my first property was a fixer-upper. So was my second, my third, my fourth. Yeah. I loved it when I learned how to do real estate without having to do fixer-uppers, because there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. But I got buddies that make a ton of money finding junkers, putting the money in, and if the numbers are right, dude, you can make more than 6 figures. You can do really well.
Well, you'll see my hands don't have any calluses on them.
Yeah.
Because I don't do fixer-uppers.
Okay.
I just don't. Why? Because I like to find a bargain property where the seller has a great piece of real estate and he has personal problems he's trying to solve. But fixer-uppers is one strategy, and it might be perfect for you. You might love to fix up things. And my first property was a fixer-upper, and I went in and I cleaned it up and did painting and made it beautiful, and the neighbor was just waiting for me to get done because he'd been out of town when the property went up for sale. I bought it. He really wanted it, so he waited till it was fixed up, and then he came to me and offered me 6 times my money back.
Wow.
So that was my first deal.
That was a good deal.
It was a great deal.
Yeah.
But I don't do that much anymore. I like to find bargain properties that are great. They're already fixed up, ready to go.
You know, honestly, that's something, even though I've got buddies that make a ton of money doing this, like I said, I found in my own personal life that I could often find a really good bargain that was a fixer-upper. But then I would also find houses that were just as good of a bargain, that were in good condition, and all I did was raise my standards and say, well, if I can find a bargain that doesn't need fixing up, I'd rather avoid the calluses.
It's me. It's still me.
Because it's risky. It's risky because when you open up a wall, you might find some
termites.
Yeah, so you never can tell. They make a bid, but it's usually twice as much as what they bid it. And therefore your profit gets shrunk, and so that's why I don't do it. But some people are really good at it, and if you feel intuitively that's your thing, that's your game, then play that game, baby. Go for it. So there are really 2 ways of making money from real estate. 2 kinds of incomes. They can be chunks of money or streams of money. And a chunk of money means you're going to buy it and immediately turn around and sell it and make a chunk of money. The problem with that is this one chunk, and you got to go do it again. Now, if you're going to get streams of income from real estate, then you rent it. You hold on to it. You get little positive cash flows, and eventually, when that house is paid off, it's like an oil well in your backyard, just pumping out cash every single month. And so that's what you ultimately want to have. But sometimes you just need to flip a property to make some quick cash to pay your bills off. And so that's why flippers is strategy number 4. Sometimes, we talked earlier, sometimes you flip it before you even take title to it. You flip the piece of paper, and so many people have done that. Or you buy it, and you don't fix it up. You still, you wholesale it. You bought it super wholesale. You wholesale it to somebody else. Let them go do the fix up, and you make a little chunk of money in the middle. But remember, ultimately, you want streams of income.
You know, Bob, it's interesting. In today's economy, the real estate's hot. It's moving fast, and I think there are some people who are like, well, I'm buying it, I'm gonna hold it for a matter of months, and then I'm gonna resell it, and I'm gonna flip it, and I'm just gonna make some money because that's how hot the market is. And yet I gotta say, flipping is a game where it's like a reset every single time. Yeah. And at some point you're like, I need my money to work for me, I gotta stop working for it. So
it's like a job.
It's kind of like
flipping
a job.
Is like a job.
Although some of my buddies that make a ton of money, they've learned how to be absentee owner. And it's now doing its thing, and it's no longer a job for them. They've made it a job for somebody else.
Yeah, there you go.
Bob, you got me on this one. Number 5 is angel, and I just got to say, like, heavenly angels, like the clouds parted and the sun rays and the heavenly hosts.
When
like,
you find an investment partner like that, it's almost like an angel.
That's
you know?
heavenly. So this is a real estate term.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it comes from the Broadway, where people would have angel investors to raise money, very risky money, for a Broadway play, and they call them angels.
Got it.
So we call our real estate investor partners angels, and they're gonna lend us things we don't have. Now, if you don't have cash, somebody does.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to lend it to you.
Yeah.
If you don't have cash flow, somebody does.
Yep.
Maybe you have a property that has a little negative cash flow for a few months while you're fixing it up, and you can't handle it, and an angel would work with you.
Bob, I got hundreds of angels all over the world.
You do.
They find me on social media, and then they become my partners. They like to be passive. They like to be silent. I'm really good at turning a 25 to 35% annual profit.
You hear that?
Yeah, so we just team up, and we do this all day long. So I love my angels.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was a Victoria's Secret kind of contest, though, so I don't call my partners angels.
well, and they come up with the money,
They do.
and you find the deals.
I found the
and you put
deals.
them together. It's perfect.
That's
It's
heavenly.
exactly what an angel strategy is like. That's how I got started. I belonged to a group that was called the investment club or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of money, but they did. And so I find the deals, and I bring them the deals, and then we do the partnership 50-50, and that's how I got started. But
That's another no money down technique.
totally, absolutely.
This guy's always trying to find a way to get in the game with no money and no credit.
Cash flow, collateral, credit. If you don't have any of those things, an angel could be enticed. And how do you entice them? You say, where do you have your money now? You got $100,000 at the bank at what? 0.5% interest? Duh.
Yep.
I can add that. I can make it 5%. I can make it 10%. I can maybe make it 20%. You can't guarantee. But you can show them how to earn massively more money on the money that's sitting in their bank account, earning nothing, losing money because of inflation.
Did you know that banks, even today, still on the way out, will give you a sucker, a little dum-dum? That's because it's not a smart place to put your money. Look at these dogs. You know that I have a lot of dogs. I love dogs, and part of it is because of the game of real estate. It's called bird dogging. Bird dogs are like dogs that are trained to like go find the pheasant after you shoot it out of the sky. How does that relate to the game of real estate?
Because you're going to be finding deals for people. And this is where, if you don't have a lot of money, you're not going to save money to be able to buy the deal. You need to find people with money. So the first thing is not to find the real estate, but to find the money to buy the real estate. And most people really don't even think that way. You're saying to yourself, I'm going to spend my time looking for deals, and then I'm going to take those deals and I'm going to sell them to other people who take advantage of them. Bird dogging is just, if you ever run out of money, that's where you go right back to.
Yeah.
Because you can always find deals. You can read a book, figure out how, go out in the marketplace and find something, and find the money to buy it.
And you know, when I really started in my game of real estate, I relied heavily on realtors and bird dogs. Investors that said, hey, I can go out and find a good deal, just tell me what your parameters are. And even today, I got a team of bird dogs that find me the very best deal. I think the real big question is, do you howl at the moon?
Gary, quit it. You're gonna start a howl.
You know, I hired a bird dog, paid him no money. I gave him a percentage of the profit of the deals we would do.
Makes sense.
Therefore, I didn't want to spend all the time looking.
Yep.
So I went to a college, an MBA class during the summertime, and I said to the class, whole entire class, if you'd like to learn how to be financially independent, I'll hire you, but I won't pay you a single dime. But you'll work for me. And he earned big money that summer, and I earned big money that summer on his efforts. So, you know, you don't have to be the bird dog. You can find a bird dog to work for you.
And Bob, most certainly, you could take any of those 6 strategies, and if you just repeat that 10 times, that's going to put you in a really great 6-figure position, get you on your way to 7 figures.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I did to get to my 7 figures, my first 7 figures.
You know, and Bob said something really important. He said that when you're just starting out fresh, or if you're starting over with the do-over, you go back to bird dogging, because all you got to do is find really good deals. Did you know that I got people all over the world that are bird dogging for me right now? And every time they find me an investor that wants to get in the game and get in on my deals, did you know that I make them my equal partner? I don't just give them a couple $1,000s. I don't give them a little bit of ownership. I take my 50% cut and I split it halvesies. And you know why I do that? Because it's a way that I can help you. If you're one of my loyal followers, if you've been a subscriber for a long time, but you haven't found your way into the game of real estate, I don't really know of an easier way to play than for you to click the link below and learn about bird dogging from me. I call it being a maverick. It's outside the box thinking. And I can show you how to literally take 20 minutes a day and accumulate dozens of property this next year without using any money, without using any credit. Click the link below. I'll show you how to become my zero cash partner. Dude, I bet you didn't know I had that bird dog program. It's pretty cool, right?
Awesome. I wanted to click that link.
Where is the button? Where do I push it? Listen, if you actually want to know.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know it's a no-brainer? Ever heard of no-brainer before?
Or it's a full brainer.
Oh, hey.
Like super smart people would do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, if you want to actually know how the whole bird dogging thing works, I made a short little cool video all about it. Just click right over here, check it out. Man, your life and approach to real estate makes mine look like crazy boring. I do the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but it's great.
I haven't learned anything in years. Like it's just like it's the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but
I got to get out more.